I was told of ancient days when wise priestess Ballads to goddess Lyria spoke. The people, remembering all after war, called for Durek's fate. "Slay them, the foul and wretched tribe," said Dokalfar. "Spare them, the poor and miserable beasts," cried Losalfar. Their minds, depraved and hatred-poisoned, twisted. Alfar struck Alfar over drink, at feast, when all else is merry, when peace reigns in havens. Hateful, I am told, were cousins towards each other. From the cold-blessed Firiol, Ballads, with a head to seek Lyria's guidance, set forth on a pilgrimage.
I say, isn't there anything we can do about all this uncivilization in these lands? We have magic and weapons. Should be easy work. But you could fit the bill. I'm part of an expedition to the teeth of Naros, and we need another to come with us on the journey. The Cranwins helped found the Order of the Ash. Our caliber of spells is matched only by our fortitude, as I'm sure you've heard. This is rather base work for one of my stature, but if rumors of this southern land are true, then even among the Cranwins, I'll be reputed. The Varani woman? Helix seems to respect her, but I've a feeling she'll cheat the lot of us before this is through. An ominous name. Naros is a troll god. If this is a place trolls believe to be hallowed ground, then what are we getting ourselves into? It's as I said, we're going to the unexplored land south of Dalentarth. They're said to house unimaginable wealth. Our coffers will thank us when we get there. If you need more information, find our camp near Ettenmere and speak to our leader, Helic.
Lord Ferrara, valiant warrior, destroyer of Enfaminir, Duke of the Hylarans, protector of the Ring of Kiozai, discoverer of the island of Meropis, were he only to meet a better end.
Only one head, by the mercy of the gods. I thought my time had come at last. Fate does not seem to hold much stock in my expedition, but it leaves me alive to see its utter failure through to the end. I'm here from Odessa on business. The rest of my expedition was wiped out by the Etin. Can't say I know all that much about the old man, other than he's a fisherman here in Etinmere. He's quite a hospitable man, though. He let me stay here without much question. Their impudence seems tied to their devotion. From what I can tell, a small number of prominent shamans are rallying them. If someone had a head on their shoulders and a blade, then toppling those shaman would help pacify the area. I came here strictly for research purposes. This is not a place many people would come on their own accord. I was leading an expedition to recover a pair of Arathi artifacts, known only as Shine and Shadow. I've spent the last decade researching them. Texts say the artifacts are powerful, but what they can do is never explicitly stated. Regardless, the Templars feel it best to place such items under their guard. But the Etin have hit us hard. And it's said that the artifacts are guarded in Delak by an ancient, powerful shaman of their kind. I'm at a loss for what to do. I have not had such good news in some time. My research indicates that the artifacts are somewhere in Delak. It seems they're now a trophy of the Etin. I can promise you this much. Though my expedition was underprepared, it was not underfinanced. A large reward waits for one who finds the artifacts. My research has tracked them to Delak. There is talk of an ancient guardian. From the looks of this place, it's likely some Etin.
There ain't no fish today, stranger. It's best you look elsewhere. Can't even look a fish in the face anymore. Not ever since I met that nymph. I've been a fisherman on these shores since I could cast a net. Even the Etin leave me be. Used to be this was Holmes Lake. But I lost my wife Imelda to fever and my nephew abandoned me to go to Dyden Hill. And now I'm just a man content to die in the house my family built here years ago. They're hostile enough normally, but of late it seems like a couple have become struck with divine inspiration. Kind that makes the Etin go to war. If they keep this up, we might have an Etin war party on our hands. If only someone might take care of those shamans first. Not much here anymore besides the Etin and myself. We get the occasional traveller, but it's not often. I can remember when I first saw her, on the cliff to the south, overlooking Etinmere. I saw that watery maiden and I fell in love with her. I've outlived my Imelda. My nephew Thaddeus up and left for Dyden Hill for want of never seeing me again. I had a chance of ending loneliness, but it was taken from me. The beasts of the wild scared her off. We were to wed by my pier, but I ain't seen her for days now. I'd searched, but the monsters will rip me to shreds. I bet you could indeed. But that's only half of what's needed. You must also find my bride-to-be. Then the wedding will be upon us. I've got to find the ring. I need to find my bear mask. I need to prepare. You best start by the pier. If she's not there, keep heading south. She's bound to be somewhere. Go on now. I will ready myself for the wedding and then catch up to you. Well, I've seen a few fine women in my day. Even met a fey woman in Gorehart long ago. But that nymph, she's something else. Her skin's lustre, her heaving prow and ample stern. Except for the fishy parts, I mean. But even so, I've fished this lake enough that the form is pleasingly familiar. I was to meet her at the old pier, but the gentle creature got scared by the monsters, no doubt. I first laid eyes on her from the cliff overlooking the lake to the south. I bet if you head south, you'll still find her. Please, find my nymph. Ah, there she is, my lovely bride. I am all dressed and prepared for our wedding. Thank you, stranger. Bless you. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to seal my bond with a ring and a kiss. Any last words for a crusty bachelor? My nymph! She just fouled that disgusting Etin with a glance. Beauty kills even the beast, so they say. Did you not see her wiggle her way to the cliff overlooking the lake? It's where we first met, you know. A grand spot for our union. Well, friend, if there's nothing else, I'm off. You're welcome to witness the event if you care to. Wait a moment. That's no nymph. That's not the graceful creature I fell in love with. You were good enough to go along with an old man's wishes. Might I ask one more of you? I want you to kill that beast, to preserve the memory of my bride. And I'll see you rewarded if you do. I'd rather not talk about it, stranger. My personal failings tend to make me upset. You've seen the chaos and destruction the thing has caused. It's a demon of the waters. Not only that, but to think I ever loved that thing. It's shameful. Please, it burdens my old heart. I'll reward you for the work. I promise you that much. Just see it gone. Farewell. That's the end of that, then. I'm sorry for roping you into such a task, stranger. It's just... you see enough sadness in your life, and you see chances for happiness wherever you look. Now for your reward. Take my wedding ring. Pissed on Imelda's memory long enough. Seems fair I give up what hasn't been taken. I've been a fisherman on these shores since I could cast a net. Even the Etin leave me be. Used to be this was the Holmes Lake. But I lost my wife Imelda to fever, and my nephew abandoned me to go to Dyden Hill. And now I'm just an old man content to die in the house my family built here years ago. They're hostile enough normally. But of late it seems like a couple have become struck with divine inspiration. The kind that makes the Etin go to war. If they keep this up, we might have an Etin war party on our hands. If only someone might take care of those shamans first. Not much here anymore besides the Etin and myself. We get the occasional traveller, but it's not often. It ain't much. Just a small charm that she had when we were wed. When fever took her, I mounted it on her grave. And then one of those two-headed bastards pried it off. Carried it to the lake, giggling like a pair of fools. Wouldn't dare follow the beasts there. But if you... well, you've helped me enough. Thank you. You're a kind soul indeed. The Etin took to the shore as soon as I saw him. He's somewhere on the lake's edge, I'm sure of it. One of those Etin took it and headed south, along the shore. He's somewhere on this lake. I know that much.
His term among our court, so virile in his living. He is fervor embodied. He is vitality. He rescued Princess Luna to take as his own. King of Strand, Prince of Passion.
I see you took me up on my advice after all. Can't say you made a bad choice. Speak with Helic if you want to know more about the expedition.
Someone's finally come.
Well, glad to see that you made it here safe and sound. Helic's the one you'll want to speak to, though. The mage is more used to seeing women in skirts, but I've caught him leering more than a few times nonetheless. Let's hope his spellcraft is more potent than his stares. Fine.
Finally, we've found the last person we need after all. I'm Helic Cross. I'm leading an expedition to the land south of Dalantarth, the teeth of Naros, and we could use another strong back. A mage is always good to have on an expedition like this, except for Cash, but maybe he'll come around. During one of my other campaigns, I chanced upon a diary of an Almain monk. Denric the Crazed said he found a way to the land south of Dalantarth. After reading what he found there, cities of gold, fountains of sapphires, I decided I wanted to see this land for myself. Been a mercenary for about 20 years now. Toured with the Warsworn, but didn't take quite as much pride in the work as they wanted. So I struck out on my own. You can make a fair bit of coin selling your sword to keep a farm or two safe. Not that I'll need to anymore. Sverri's got a fairly good head on her shoulders. She's only got eyes for gold, but there's plenty for all on this trip. When it comes to navigating ruins, there's no one I trust more. We're in the foothills of the Teeth right now. It's not the easiest place to reach, sheer cliffs of stone, and few passes through them. Few facts. The only record of a successful journey there was by an Almain missionary named Denric, returned half dead and maddened to hell. He claimed the southern land as home to a miraculous city, wrought of gold and trimmed with silver, even said it floated above the earth. If you can believe it. It's hard country, damn impossible to find a pass in the mountains, but if I'm right, this cavern will take us under them. Because Denric wrote of more than wealth. Tales of giant men, tall as houses, that slaughter any who approach. It took weeks even to convince Cash and Sverri to join me. With a fourth, we can take a bigger haul without sharing too much of it. Denric was crazed, but I don't hold him a liar. I can overlook some bogeyman's tales if there's riches to be had. Can you? Then we only need to begin. I've seen to all the logistics, and all the preparations for the journey. Meet us in the Southern Passage. Let's try to cover as much ground as we can. It's the cave next to camp. I heard rumors that it was filled with artifacts that none had ever seen before. Strange carvings and huge works of stone. I don't know how dangerous it is, but I advise against being too carefree inside. We should go in as a group. Stay close.
Well, look at what we have here. Truthfully, I never expected to see another civilized soul out here in Ettenmere. Something about the giant hairy monsters must keep people away. Good to meet you. The name is Ray Kildine, purveyor of fine sagecrafting goods and friend to the House of Ballads. I've been out here for weeks. Getting in is the easy part. It's getting back out that will get you killed. Lucky for me, Wenson and his friends have their oratory out here. Whatever an oratory is. They've never let me inside. Sure, Wenson and me are close friends, like brothers. And he doesn't mind at all if I camp outside the oratory here. Just so long as I clean up my mess. Apparently he's a legendary knight of the House of Ballads, its ruler. But I've never seen him slay anything. He doesn't even own a crown. I don't call any one village or city home. No, I'm a wanderer by nature, a merchant by trade. Most people just assume it's because I'm a restless spirit. Actually, it's because my wife wants me dead. If the two of you ever meet, don't tell her you found me. Please. She's terrifying. It's a mystery to me. Fae come and go, but none of them ever pay me much mind. A while back, one of them dropped something in passing. They called it a cairn. I had it in my possession for one glorious night, before they pried it from my grip. Magic, I suppose. They don't seem to do much of anything on their own. I heard Wenson mention something about an echo stone, but I don't know what that is. Sounds like trouble to me.